Coming up on Signal by Sony, we've got answers to your questions about some of the products we showed you over at CES.
And we'll give you a close-up look at some of the other gadgets we got exclusive access to on the show floor. It's our special CES wrap-up show. Signal by Sony starts right now.
Hey gang, I'm Melody.
And I'm Anthony. Thanks for watching. It's good to be back after a very busy few days in Vegas. My feet are still hurting from all the walking around.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a tough life for me.
I know.
Looking at all this new, wonderful stuff.
As you probably know, Anthony and I got the lowdown on a slew of new gadgets. The 3D Handycam camcorder, the 3D Vaio F-Series laptop, the 3D Bloggy, the new WX CyberShot camera, and the flagship 2011 Bravia HD TV. We were hands-on before the Consumer Electronics Show even opened.
Yeah, and tons of you have been watching our CES videos, doing your own research, and posting some really good questions on our YouTube channels. So our first order of business is to give you some answers. Now let's start off with something we really need to address. When we first showed you the 3D Handycam, we told you that you could not edit the 3D video shot with these devices. Well, dozens of people commented that 3D content shot with this camcorder would work on the latest version of Sony Vegas Pro editing software, and they were a little confused by our statements. Now, it's true that the latest Sony Vegas Pro software supports a variety of 3D formats. The real detail comes from the codec the TD10 supports. It's got two side-by-side cameras that capture AVC HD, and it's really about how those two AVC HD files are wrapped as a 3D video, which is still getting figured out. Editing software manufacturers are awaiting the patch for this new codec when it's announced. Sony Vegas software is prime for editing 3D movies from this camera, but it still needs the patch before it will officially work. Likely the same case for other 3D editing software. But the 3D camcorder is available starting in April, and though there's no fixed date for the codec and patch, we expect to hear that soon, and it will certainly be before the product is available, so don't worry. Now let's get into some of the other questions we got about the 3D Handycam. So Top Dog in UK asks, I wonder what it shoots to. SD cards, SDHC cards, internal memory, any max capacity, image stabilization, night shot lux rating, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, remote controller, photo snap function for 2D and 3D, sound quality, tripod, light holder. Here are all the answers I've got. 64 gigs internal flash memory, and a card slot for SD, SDHC, SDXC, and Memory Stick Pro Duo Media. But it's important to use a fast card whenever shooting HD video, no matter what format you're using. Yes, each G-series lens is equipped with optical steady shot image stabilization with active mode, which is especially important when shooting 3D video, because you've got two different cameras to worry about. We saw a spec of 11 lux for standard, 3 lux for low lux. No Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi, because sending 3D video over wireless could be kind of a challenge because there's so much data involved. It has an AV remote, which usually means remote availability, and there is 2D still image at 7 megapixels, but no 3D still image capture. We weren't sure what specifics you were looking for about sound quality, but it's got built-in 5.1. And lastly, there is a standard tripod socket and a built-in intelligent shoe for Sony intelligent shoe accessories. Lastly, KBatman99 says, does anybody know if the camera has an AVR connector to be controlled by a Lank controller? In short, it does have an AV remote, but no Lank controller. Oh yeah, and we got some questions about the spacing between the two lenses. We don't have an exact figure, but it's about an inch.
There you have it. Now here are a couple questions we got about the 3D Bloggy. Too Cool For You asks, so if I bought a 3D TV, I can't play back my 3D videos on it? Wow, Sony, you really screwed up.
Wow, I don't want any trouble, buddy.
I'm sorry, let me clear it up for you. We heard this a lot and there was a lot of confusion around. So first of all, this is our fault. Again, because we taped so early, we were still getting a lot of information. And also, this is how the demos on the CES show floor actually worked, using those red and blue anaglyph glasses. So let's set the record straight. For the 3D content captured on the new 3D Bloggy, as long as you have a 3D TV that supports a side-by-side format, then you can change the setting to side-by-side and view 3D content using whatever glasses that your 3D TVs require. In the case of Sony's 3D TVs, they support side-by-side format, so you just change your settings to this and you can watch the Bloggy's 3D content using those active shutter glasses you have. Now, what's kind of nice about having the red and blue anaglyph glasses is that people can create content for people they don't even know and just freely post it across the internet, which allows people who own different kinds of 3D gadgets or no 3D gadgets at all to view the content. So
totally.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, YouTube's got a bunch of red, blue 3D stuff.
Exactly. Julio Cesar 24 wrote in to say, so you need 3D glasses to view the preview screen of the 3D camera? Man, there's something wrong with Sony. Actually, if by the preview screen you mean the built-in LCD, no glasses are required. The built-in LCD is auto-stereoscopic, which means it displays in 3D without the need for glasses.
It looked really cool in person too. I was really impressed with it. All right, let's get to some questions about the Bravia XBR HX929. Nanika wants to know, can I transform 2D video to 3D video with the push of a button? The answer is yes. This has been a feature since the 2010 3D models were launched. The latest Bravia TVs work the same way. Again though, converting 2D to 3D content is kind of like a sugar substitute. Like, it's good, but it's not as good as native 3D content. 23 Grandmaster K wants to know, is it coming out in March or May? Because I've heard both. 46 and 55-inch XBRs should be available in the March-April timeframe, with the 65-inch coming in the summer. But I know where you heard May. A few other Bravia models announced at CES mentioned a May timeframe. Those would be the HX820, NX720, and the HX729. And apparently there's been some misunderstanding about the price. Xiaobao68 wrote in to say that the 55-inch is going to go for $9,999.99, and the remote app will be available for $99.99. That is pretty expensive. Definitely not true. Pricing will be in line with the current XBR line, which is way less than $10K, and the apps are going to be available for free.
Moving on now to the 3D Vaio F-Series laptop. Okay, Showdown at Sundown wants to know, what's the price going to be on this? I'm looking to get a new laptop soon. The pre-built model will start at Sony style for about $17.99, and they'll also have a custom-built model available, which is really nice. And that leads us to our next question from Cappyman 2.0, who says, I'm sorry, but why would I pay over $1,000 for a dang laptop when I bought mine with the same features minus the 3D for $400? Well, Anthony did a great feature on this a while ago in his laptop buyer's guide. There's usually a massive difference between a $400 laptop and a high-end model that's in the $1,000 plus range. In the case of the 3D Vaio F, not only would the CPU differ immensely with the quad-core CPU, but there's also the hard drive speed, the screen quality, the chassis quality, enhanced audio, a Blu-ray drive, and the list just goes on and on. So there's a lot of stuff in there, and at a price difference that large, there's a ton of extra features in this F versus other models offered at $400. But it doesn't mean don't get a $400 laptop. You just have to ask yourself, how long will I have it? What do I need it for? And that'll help a lot in determining what laptop is right for you. Okay, Dragon2534 asks, won't color ruin the 3D effect? I'm not an expert, but I'm thinking any color other than black would distract the user's eye from the 3D effect. Great question, but color would not ruin the effect, although black is the least distracting. Sony chose the premium black color for the launch of this model because they felt it exemplified the premium experience of the new F-Series the best. All right, here's a question someone posted on Engadget. Is that all black glass like the iPhone 4 on that laptop? Actually, no. The glossy black material on the chassis is not glass, but a painted surface with a glossy finish applied.
So last but not least, let's get to the WX9 CyberShot camera. Overall, the price of the WX9 received a great reception from all of you out there, and the biggest question we got was, when can I pre-order this? The great news is that you can actually pre-order this right now on SonyStyle.com for about $220 bucks. You can get it in red, black, or silver. So there you have it. As more CES gear becomes available at Sony Style, you'll hear about it here, so keep watching.
Anyway, those 5 Sony products we talked about are just a tiny fraction of what Sony featured at CES this year. There were so many more cameras, new headphones, wireless audio systems, new dash models, and Blu-ray players, way more than we actually had time to cover for the show. But we do want to dive a little deeper into 2 of the more popular areas of the booth, and we also heard feedback that you wanted to know about some more products. So first off, let's take a look at some of the other Vaio laptops that we saw at the show. So I'm here with Kevin from the Vaio product team. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a look at a bunch of cool Vaios that are coming out. First of all, what's this desktop beast here?
So this is the new L series. So the one we're looking at here in the white color is actually part of our signature collection. The L series is a 24-inch all-in-one. It's got a touchscreen display, full HD quality.
That's so cool.
It's got Blu-ray drive options, of course, to have a great multimedia experience. A lot of other Sony technologies are put into this as well. The webcam is an HD webcam, so it gives you a nice high resolution. It also has our Exmor CMOS sensor for low light quality. We have speakers at the bottom here, and we use our S4 surround sound to really do a simulated surround sound during movie playback. One really unique thing about the L series is the touchscreen is a normal touchscreen, multi-point touchscreen, but we've made the bezel area actually touch sensitive as well. So you can press down here and it'll pull up an operation guide to kind of educate you on what the functionality is. What we wanted to do with this was take a lot of the common functionality like back and next in a web browser, closing a window, pulling up the on-screen keyboard, and put that into the non-viewable part of the screen because you tend to get a little fingerprint buildup there.
Very smart.
So one example of how to use that would be the on-screen keyboard. Normally you would tap the screen, it would pop out a little, and you'd kind of have to drag it out a little bit there. With using the touchable bezel area, you can just tap once and it comes out.
Wow.
So a little easier way to access some of those common
Very
functionality.
cool. And I see it's mounted here as well.
Yeah, so you can remove the stand from the bottom and attach it with the VESA mount to the wall. It also has HDMI inputs. You can connect to PlayStation 3 or another high-def device to it. It also has HDMI output, so you can display to a second monitor if you wanted to extend your desktop from your Windows environment.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming out.
My pleasure.
Dude, that touchscreen bezel one is really cool.
I know, I want one for every room in my house.
Aside from the PlayStation section, my other favorite part of the Sony booth was probably the digital imaging area, and we got access to some cameras and lenses that no one else at CES had. I mean, they were literally unlocking things under glass cases to show us. Take a look. So I'm joined now by El Dean from the digital imaging team. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for coming.
El Dean is going to show us some super secret upcoming stuff, starting with this, which everybody is talking about. I know the Sony Camera Club on Flickr is just like speculating.
Yep.
What am I looking at?
So the reason why everybody's speculating is because they've seen it under glass at a couple of shows now. And the last time we showed it in the US was at Photo Plus. And essentially this is a mock-up of our A700 replacement.
Wow.
So this is basically a professional APS-C size camera. We haven't named this model yet, and we're not releasing too much information about it. Right. So here we have the mock-up. Feels really great in my hand.
Yeah.
We're also
How
showing
does it feel in my
flash.
hand?
I'll show you in a second. I want you to do this and turn it sideways.
Okay.
And what's really cool is that this flash will turn sideways.
wow.
So if I'm shooting portrait, I can actually make my flash portrait as well. So hang on to that. What do you think?
So this is the not just the body, but this is the battery grip as well.
Yes.
And the flash unit.
Right. So it allows you to keep your bounce angle even if you change the angle of the camera.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Right.
Cool. Well, I mean, as a consolation prize for me, I mean, I brought my camera with me.
Sure.
And I see you have the 500mm. Guys, I'm like a really professional photographer.
Well, this is something really cool. This is the new 500mm lens that we're working on. This is a mock of what it's going to look like, which is great, but I have something even more exciting for you.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's a bit heavier than the mock. I actually have a working engineering sample, and as you can see, it hasn't got its total finish on yet. Let's see if this thing will fire on your NEX.
I feel like a future cop. This is awesome because...
Hold it by the lens, not by the camera.
But this is like, okay, so this is the NEX5, so this is, I mean, this is a really affordable pocket camera that I carry around with me everywhere, you know?
Right.
But it's got the DSLR sensor, and look at the lens that I'm putting on my NEX right now.
So what we've done here is, putting on the LAEA1 adapter, and that allows you to go with just about any of the Sony lenses, the alpha lenses, A-mount.
Oh my gosh, I just saw something I don't think I was supposed to. What do you have coming up for NEX owners in the lens department?
So actually we have a couple of exciting things that we can share with you, and what we should probably do is move around to the other side of the booth.
Beautiful, let's do it. You guys are coming out with a ton of adapters, and you're allowing third-party adapters, correct?
Correct. We are working with third-party companies and helping them develop their adapters. So you'll find on the market currently adapters for most popular brands and very obscure brands as well.
Awesome. You've got a few right here.
Yeah,
right?
we have a bunch over here, and we're showing a few. This is kind of a unique lens, nice pull hood. And you can see this is a pretty old lens.
Oh, wow. Feel that
Yeah,
guy.
it's pretty heavy. Not what you would expect.
I mean, this is cool because a lot of people have their pocket camera, their small camera, as a secondary camera.
Right.
You know, and so this really does help people kind of
Yeah.
keep their old stuff going, you know?
Right, and what I'm really finding is a lot of, professional photographers who are out there, and like you, you've been collecting lenses over the years, and you get to like how a certain lens takes pictures. You get to like that look. Now you can keep on shooting with that same lens as you go forward, which is really great.
And of course, the NEX line isn't just the still cameras, it's also video cameras like the VG10.
Correct. All the future E-mount lenses that we're launching for the NEX will obviously fit the NEX VG10 as well.
Sure, and then all the adapters too.
Exactly, so you can use that adapter with that unique lens, whether it's an ultra-wide fisheye or something with a really great bokeh due to the nature of the lens. You can capture that in video now as well.
Wow. Show me something that I have not heard about yet that's going to blow my mind.
These are two of our new camcorders that we just launched. The HDR, you have the PJ50,
okay,
and I have the PJ30 in my hand. And as you can see, they're really tiny. I know I have pretty big hands, but that's a really small camcorder.
Yeah, these are very small.
But the real cool feature in these camcorders isn't actually the size, is if you have a look at the LCD screen, even though it's not that big, it actually features a projector in the LCD screen and stereo speakers with S-Master audio. Have you ever been around where you've been shooting and you want to show your friends, and we all gather around and say, hey, take a look at this, and there's 4 or 5 people and not everybody can see, or you get home and you want to enjoy and you don't really want to plug into a TV, or maybe you're out camping and you shoot the whole day camping and you just want to have a mini cinema inside your tent. This is really a cool, fun feature, and really doesn't add any weight or anything like that to the camera. But
Still
some
seems very,
great
very light.
functionality.
Cool,
Yep.
so I am shooting a clip. And now I want to project it.
So as you can see, I can focus. So depending on how close or far away I am, I can focus the projector. And here's where the 2 stereo speakers are with the S-Master amplification at the back of the camera. So, watching in a place where you don't have speakers, or you're not plugged into a TV, you can still get some great audio coming out of the camcorder with your great picture.
And assuming we are somewhere that's near a TV and everything, I assume this has standard HDMI out. And everything.
Absolutely, yeah. No, same as normal. There's a couple of other cool features. It has standard HDMI out. It also has a USB built straight into the strap. This allows you to plug directly into any PC on the go. You don't have to carry a cable around with you. It actually comes with, and you can use this to charge the camera as well. All right, and this can really become a fun way of enjoying your video footage without even needing a TV.
Very cool.
Yep.
So this will project up to a 30-inch screen?
Actually, this will project up to a 60-inch size.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
Indoors 60-inch looks fantastic.
Very cool. So just a whole start-to-finish movie experience here.
Oh, yeah.
Very awesome. Do you know when we're going to see this?
We should start seeing these from late February.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Eldine.
That is so killer. They were totally twisting the NEX and keeping the lens still.
It was crazy to have like this giant lens on this tiny little camera and just have a perfect picture come out of it. It was really awesome.
It's probably the only time that's ever happened, which means you can keep the lens.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I get it as a prize.
Yes.
They're not listening.
Well, as everything Sony had this year at CES gets released, we're hoping to get some of the products into the studio so we can show them to you in a little bit more detail in our upcoming shows. So be sure to keep watching, and if you have any particular gear or perspective you'd like to see, just let us know via Twitter at Signal by Sony or email us at signal@revision3.com.
Well, that's just about all we have time for. We hope you learned a thing or two. Be sure to visit sony.com/signal to check out links to all the products we featured on the show, or you can watch the show at youtube.com/signal. And don't forget to post your comments there too. As you can see from this show, we read them all. For now, this is Anthony and Melody signing off. Bye. Get the gear into the studio, then from the studio to the car.